I don't know what happened. Hi guys, me, beautiful warrior, back again today. Um, I wanted to talk about some spiritual stuff. My channel. I feel like I would like it to be, um, I guess as I have evolved, you know, um, and transformed. There are things that I value and um, think about more than I did before I had surgery. The surgery, weight loss surgery for me, was really a catalyst, the tool I needed to look within and to find myself. Um, because after I lost weight, I really emotionally still felt the same. And I thought that once I lost all that weight, that automatically I would be healed on an emotional level, a mental level. I thought that, for some crazy reason, I thought my marriage would be good all of a sudden. Friendships, relationships with others. I don't know. I just really thought that was the type of changes that would take place. But what I didn't realize, it wasn't about the weight, it was about who I am inside. um, you know, once I realized, okay, I have some problems. There's some things that need to heal within me. The work began, the spiritual journey began, the transformation began. I started learning, uh, reading about different spiritualities, metaphysics, different magical practices, manifestation. All of this stuff I was always into since a child or adolescence, but because I was raised in the church in a Christian home, I would always push it away and say, "No, that's evil. Um, that's nothing I should really explore or dive into." What I realized is that um, I needed to be deprogrammed and open to other things as I grow older and really respect and learn about different cultures and beliefs around the world. Um, there's no reason to feel guilt or shame for wanting to know more, to learn more. I am a Sagittarius, moon and sun, and rising Cancer. So for me, I mean, if you look at it, those to me are like two signs with totally different opposites um characteristics, attributes. Cancer is about home and family, and Sagittarius is about exploring the world and all of that. But also Sagittarius is about higher knowledge. So I feel like the spiritual knowledge and always wanting to know more and learn more on a like esoteric type of aspect of things, that's always been there, and I think that's the Sagittarius in me. Um, but I am like kind of a hermit. I stick to myself, and what I've realized with my spiritual transformation, that everything is about balance. You know, um, I also study Vedic astrology, so I'm in my Vedic chart. I'm a Scorpio moon, Scorpio sun, and Gemini rising. Um, but in Vedic astrology, there's something called Mahadashas. Mahadashas mean great periods, and it is more so about the planetary influence at that time period in your life. So right now, I'm in my Venus Mahadasha, right? So the energy and the influence of Venus is really strong in my life. And I started this, it's almost a couple years, maybe a year ago. couple years ago. I don't know. I have to look back at my chart, but it's been a little bit. As soon as I switched over into that, I felt a shift. Like I had, my passion was back to create art. Within that first month of switching into that Mahadasha, I had this urge to create art, and I started painting and posting my artwork. And I love art. Like, I love creating. It's my therapy. It's what makes me happy. I will take creating a painting versus going out on a date or something over. I'll take that. I like to create, and especially for people that I love. Like, if someone reaches out to me and says that they want a painting, like, that makes me happy. And excuse me, I'm sorry. Within that, more importantly, I'm thinking Venus, okay, luxury, romance, relationships, happiness, creativity, of course. Yeah, but for me, that's why you have to look at your chart as a whole, and the placements and the energy as a whole. Because for some people, they may start experiencing that more, like that, going on vacations, luxury, finding a partner, and all of that, romance. But also with Venus, it's about harmony and balance. So that has been one of my biggest things. That energy is telling me I need harmony and balance in my life. Like, that's what I need to work on. That's really what I need to be focused on more than anything. If I want those other things to start playing out in my life, the first thing to do is get balance and harmony in my life. Because, and I really wasn't aware of this. Once again, once I switched over into that Mahadasha, it was like a sore thumb sticking out. It was nothing I could deny or push away. It's like a warning, like flashing lights, harmony and balance. And I started realizing how extreme of a person I am. Like, I'm always on one end or on the other, never in the middle. Things are very extreme. Which is why I've went within. I've kind of calmed down a lot. Took time to go within and see how that harmony could be achieved in my life. What I'm finding out, like, even with the spirituality thing, I went all into it, but then I'm like, okay, I had to say to myself, okay, am I learning, but am I also using this as a way to escape reality? Am I using this as a form of escapism and something to be so excited about that I get obsessed over, and that's all I dive into to really distract me from what it is I should be doing? At one point, I was distracted, and my higher self, universe, God, my intuition said, okay, you need to balance. Once again, in that planetary energy of Venus, balance. Because I felt like I was drifting away into the clouds, and I really had to start grounding myself and working a lot on grounding. I noticed with me, my root chakra is probably, and I'm probably 100% sure, the most blocked or unaligned chakra I have. I have always dealt with not feeling secure, not feeling stable, not feeling rooted, not feeling grounded, feeling like I don't have everything I need. And that's what the root chakra is. It's security, it's earth, it's grounding, it's stability. And so that is what I'm working on. And that is one reason I decided to go back into the workforce, because I left for a year and then I found a new job, and I said, getting a job may bring some balance back to my life, because, like I said, when I wasn't working, I just was drifting away. you know, I wasn't able to balance out things and start a business and do things I needed in reality here in this on this earth plane to move forward in life. I was just stuck, and so I prayed, I meditated, I asked, like I said, my higher self, what do I need to do to stop feeling lack, for one, because I was, not making any money, struggling financially. And of course, when that happens, that spirals into, okay, I have kids and I need to make sure they have everything they need to provide. To survive. I need to provide them with. And so then I started feeling shame and guilt, like I wasn't being a good parent. And I just said I really need to ground. I need to realize that I am unprepared and I need to get back on my feet and get prepared and get to a place to where I can circle back around to this and do it the right way. Like when, I'm a parent, I don't have time to be stubborn and to make a bunch of careless mistakes that will negatively impact my children's life. And I want them to see me as a happy mother that loves them and will do whatever it takes to give them a healthy childhood. Which goes into my next thing here is my marriage. That's aside from the harmony and balance that I need in my life. I also part of that is being has been being in a toxic marriage and trying to figure out how to end it or make it better or get away from it, because my daughters are seeing things that I don't want, are a part of a toxic family, which I don't want. And I've struggled. Okay, if I leave, is that going to impact them like in a negative way? If I stay, is this worse? And my mother, constantly tells me how I am pretty much responsible, and because I'm not walking away, I am part of whatever negative impact this may have on them. So they're 4 and 8, and I want to get this figured out before they get any older. For them to see, me and their dad not communicate, not talk. If we are, one has an attitude, and me, it's me too sometimes, just being frustrated, irritated. But them seeing their dad just totally checked out of life, seeing me having to compete with a video game. Now they're feeling like they're competing with a video game and not getting the love they deserve. That's going to have a negative impact on them. Not only if this, if I were to stay in this, not only will now they'll expect when they start dating or looking for a lifelong partner, okay, I could just be with somebody that ignores me because that's what's normal and that's what I've seen. Mommy did it, I'm hoping that my goal is to make them wiser than me. Not make them, but hoping that I can teach them to be wiser than me, even though at 4 and 8, it's like they already are. Like they outsmart me all the time, but no, but that's no cop out. I am their mother. I am a guide. I am responsible for them. I'm a teacher to them. I'm an example, I want to be a good example and a good role model But I can't be that if my words don't align with my actions. And um, it's a tough decision. It's tough, like, because as far as my feelings as a wife, um, I don't really care about those anymore. I feel like that's irrelevant. You know, I think on a marriage level, we're both done. We have no relationship. We don't talk. We don't build. If I go and try to talk to him about a budget, or getting the girls in extracurricular activities, or financial planning for their future, he has his head set on, and I'm talking through people on Call of Duty Live trying to have a serious conversation, and then he gets an attitude. So it's either that he gets that, he lifts up his one earpiece, and that's how we have serious conversations. And I'm kind of over that now. Um, or if I try to have serious conversations, I'm nagging. Uh, you know, I'm not a kid. I'm not your son. So I said, okay, I understand. I understand. I'm not gonna do this anymore. You're right. I'm not your mother. You're an adult. You should know better. Or you should have some type of discernment or logical thinking. But that's the thing. I've had to step back because I felt like I was being more nagging, negative, because I have all this resentment and anger and frustration, thinking that when I got married, I was marrying someone that was going to be my life partner, and a teammate, and somebody that wanted to raise kids, and someone that wanted to be a husband. And then I found out he was the total opposite. So I have a lot of anger and frustration, and I was taking out of him, but now it's to the point where, no, at this point, I need to do something about it. Stop with all the chitter chatter. I'm not a child. I'm not about to go back and forth with you on anything anymore. I need to make a move. And I think I said all that a little bit prematurely, because the whole point of me saying that was pre-op, before my gastric bypass. What I was doing, because we've been married for 8 years, and this has been going on for 8 years. But the difference, pre-op, I would just shut up, stuff my face with food, and be done with it. And I would do the nagging and the controlling and just go off. I mean, one time I got so mad I almost flipped the table. I was just mad. I mean, I was so full of anxiety. And I had to really sit back and say, this isn't who you are. And you can't let other people trigger you. You have to be in control of yourself. What other people do should not change who you are and make you act out or make you do irresponsible or childish things. You have to be accountable for your actions in yourself. I had to tell myself, this person isn't worth it. He cares nothing about me, and you're letting him tear you down, change you, your heart. I refuse now. Now I refuse to let someone that doesn't love me, respect me, take my heart, make it cold and callous, and change my mindset to where I hate the world and feel like there's no good out in the world. That is what I've been working on. Getting back to my true self and being the loving, nurturing person that I was at one point and that I'm meant to be. But also the 2.0 version of me should know how to set boundaries, healthy boundaries. I don't want to say demand respect, because if someone doesn't respect you, they don't respect you. Like, you shouldn't have to demand it. If you're to the point of demanding it, then you should just be done with that. Okay, so, but pre-op, I was saying, I just built up all this shame, resentment. Like I said, I was eating, and I would be like, okay, and I would still be intimate with him. Even knowing that he wasn't respecting me or cared about me. Like, because what would happen is, like, all day he'd be on his games or at his friend's house smoking and drinking or whatnot. And then at the end of the night, he would come home to me and wanting to be lovey-dovey and wanting to be intimate, and I would give in. I don't do that anymore. But because at that time, pre-op, before my weight loss, my spiritual journey, all that, it was like I was thinking, oh, he does care about me. He does love me. Otherwise he wouldn't be, but now I look at that like, really? You want to try that? Like, that's really disrespectful AF, Don't, no, you've had all day to talk to me, discuss. Let's talk about our children, maybe even each other, like check in with each other mentally, emotionally, like, how are you doing? You're just gonna come and out of the blue say, oh, I love you. You've made my life so much better. Can you lay down with me? I mean, at like 4 o'clock in the morning, after you've done everything that you want to do. And I'm in bed sleeping. Okay, because now I have a job. I work in the morning. I'm in bed sleeping. I didn't take care of the kids all day. I didn't clean the house. I didn't work. Really? And then in return, he turns around and says, okay, well, this is why I don't, try anymore, because you're not doing your wifely duties and being intimate with me and doing your part. I'm just like, okay. So then I feel bad and guilty, but I'm done with that now. I have to black all that out. Focus on me, my transformation, focus on my daughters. And the reason I'm focused so much on me, because I want to be a good parent to my girls. Like, I have continuously had to just step out of myself for a minute and like try to view, like, look, like step in, I don't know if this makes sense, try and step into them, like, and see how they're viewing everything. And when I do that, now I'm shaking. I usually like break down. So they, the thing with kids, sorry guys. The thing with children is that I'm trying not to cut this off. I want to keep this on so I can get to the, the thing with kids is that they didn't ask to be here. Like, we made a choice to lay down and go ahead and create these beautiful little beings. They didn't ask to be here. So I feel like as parents, like, you really have to take their life seriously, because you could, like, the reason there's so much trauma and messed up people in the world, and people with emotional issues and anxiety, is really like their upbringing. Like, their upbringing, how they were treated as a child, what things people didn't do, said, didn't say. Every little thing can impact the development of a child's mind and how they turn out in life. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. I don't think a lot of people realize that. And so that's what I'm trying to be conscious of. Like what I say, if I say the littlest things, like, wow, like I could say something and it could be stuck in my daughter's head for the rest of her life. And like when she's 20, she'd be like, Mommy, remember when you said my hair was a mess? I have always felt conscious about my hair. Like we don't think things like that can really impact. And even like my daughter, my oldest daughter, she doesn't like, well, both of them, they don't like to get their hair brushed at all. Sometimes they do, sometimes they're not. And I'm like, to my one daughter, like today, I said, your hair is all over your head. We gotta brush your hair. You want to go to the park? We gotta brush your hair. It's everywhere. It's all right. I don't want it all tangled up. It's a mess. In my mind, I was like, I have to be careful of how I word things. But at the same time, balance, right? Balance, harmony. You can't get too caught up in it. Because I found myself getting caught up in it to where I'm like, just, what do I say? And then, that's no good. You got to communicate with your children. You have to be a parent to your children. You have to teach them. You have to guide them. So, like, you can't just sit there and, like, not say anything. But, like, I was getting too paranoid at times. And then there's other times where I'm, like, angry. And because I haven't really said much, or I, like, try to let them get away with so many things. And then I just lash out. And I'm like, oh, gosh. What did I just do? Like I just lash out like, clean this mess up right now. You guys are nasty pig. And I'm like, oh. How could you want to live in this filth? That's. And then I'm like, okay, they're probably like one extreme to the other. Once again, for children, harmony and balance, very important. Balance. Being assertive. I mean, you could look at it like, when I say balance, like it's not about being aggressive, it's not being passive aggressive, it's about being assertive, setting clear boundaries, healthy boundaries. That is something I think once I learned how to set healthy boundaries, that will take care of half the problems. My problem is that every time I've tried to set healthy boundaries with people, they totally turn it against me and make me feel like I'm the worst person in the world. But what I've realized, that's not their problem, that's my problem. Because if I know I'm being respectful and assertive and setting a boundary and they can't respect it, why should I feel bad about it? And that's something I had to learn. Like, this is what you have to do. So much of my life I was and I try not to go into the victim mentality mindset because I was in it so long. And once you get out of that, you're like, I never want to go back. You don't even want to catch yourself going back into that. But I will say, a lot of I was the nice person. I was a sweet person. I was like, okay, whatever, at jobs and school and relationships and friendships, like just totally let people walk all over me. But then I would cry about it and be like, why? And now it's just like, it's not anybody else's fault but mine that I am allowing this. And if I communicate, like I just said, communicate assertively and set a healthy boundary, then okay, you did what you did. Move on. And this is what I learned post-op. Like, I'm not tolerating a lot of stuff that I tolerated before. It's like, but I'm not completely there. I'm like getting over that hump, So, but I will say, like, I feel like I am just a student of life. I'm not perfect. I am continuously learning and growing. Um, and I'm trying to learn how to not be so hard on myself, and how to actually just enjoy life again. Love and fun and zest for life has pretty much been absent from my life since I met my husband. It was like we met, things were okay for a couple months. It seemed like once his ex reached out to me, um, and said that they were still seeing each other, and he made up excuses and lied to me straight to my face. Uh, Within me, the trust was gone. We still got married, and I kind of feel like that was a warning from God, like, because it happened like a month before we got married. Day after Christmas, a month before we got married, I was pregnant with my first child, but that doesn't mean you have to get married just because you're pregnant. And that was my thinking then. I said, well, I'm pregnant. The wedding date, is already set. I wasn't even thinking like responsibly or logically when I got married. I was thinking like, I'm almost 30. I'm pregnant. I need to get married. Which was selfish in me because I didn't think about like, do I even want to be with this person? Does this person love me? Do I love this person? Do we know each other? Do we have things in common? Do I feel like we can? And I mean, I did think about it. I was up, like, when I was pregnant, I would be up at night, kind of crying by myself because he was passed out from being drunk or in a room isolated playing on games, and I would just be like in the living room, like, am I gonna be a good parent? Is my husband gonna step up and be a good parent? And I mean, I was just like in this panic mode. And so I was thinking about things like that. But once it got time to get married, I like pushed every red flag out of the way, pushed my conscience completely to the side, my higher self, my intuition, all the, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I mean, I totally just was like, what are you talking about? Whatever. I'm going to do this. And I have, I don't want to say, well, I have been suffering. I have paid. But at the same time, had I not got married, would I have really been in a situation to really find myself and really be here where I am right now? Would I have been led here? Which I think is most important than anything. Sorry, I'm shaking again. So it wasn't a waste. I feel like it was just another lesson. That's why I said I'm a student of life. Every challenge, every obstacle is a lesson we can all learn. I also want to say, when I was starting my spiritual journey and everything, and I was following a lot of people, and I feel like, I would take what they say. You need to take some things with a grain of salt. And when you're on your spiritual walk, because I started a spiritual channel. Let me go back a little bit. I started a spiritual channel. It's called Beautiful Soul Goddess. And when I left my job previously, I was supposed to start, my spiritual business and everything. I wanted to guide people and be a spiritual coach and all of that. Once I quit my job and I was like on the brink of going all in that, because I am a certified Reiki practitioner as well. Um, Something just wasn't sitting right with me. I started all these spiritual teachers and stuff. I started seeing them getting exposed, and I listened to stuff from certain people, and it just wasn't matching up with my spirit. And I go back to books, and um, because for me, I feel like when you help people spiritually, like, and what I've learned with helping people, on their journey, it's something that you shouldn't. I mean, we're all here to help each other, right? But I feel like spiritual journey is very individual. Like, I almost start feeling like if I become a coach and I'm helping people, I almost feel like, I don't know if this is the right word, invasive, like invading their spirit almost. Like, like I said, there's lessons that we all learn. And I mean, even in my marriage, like, I had to learn, like, my husband may be going through things and lessons in life that he needs to go through, and some things I just may not be able to help with or intervene with. Like, I had to really come to peace with that. Like, I can't be in control of everybody and everything, and people are going to have to learn things on their own. So, from their experience, because one thing I noticed with a lot of spirit, it's no like one size fits all. Like, and this spiritual advice may work for you, but it may not work for somebody else because of where they are in their life. You know, and really, what I've found out, you could tell me whatever you want to tell me, but if I'm not experiencing it, or if it doesn't click with me, it's gonna be like you just telling me you're wasting your time. And so when I put myself in that place and thought about helping others spiritually, and it just wasn't meshing with me, although I love to help others and I love to teach, and I feel like I have all this knowledge I can share, I feel like, when you're on your journey, the work is on you. You know, I've seen a lot of like hoodoo, practitioners, magical practitioners, and things like that help other people, and they do spells for them, and they do root work for them, and some of them are like, you know, I did this for this person, and they come back and said it didn't work, and this, but really, okay, well, if that person wasn't willing to do the work, or change within them what they needed to change, obviously it's not gonna work. Or if they're like totally unaligned with what they want, and that's something that I've realized too with my personal journey. There's like levels to this. There's steps. There's like when a baby is being born, there's, everything doesn't happen at once. There's different stages, and throughout the weeks of the baby developing, different things are developed. I don't, people need to, everyone needs to realize that. And based off of where you are, certain things have to be developed. And patience is necessary. Patience is a virtue. Would I prefer to be financially stable and and be living my best life right now, traveling the world with my kids and being able to buy anything I want, of course, but this is my journey, this is my life, this is my experience. What I need to learn right now is harmony and balance and setting boundaries. And until I do that, you know, and in a way, I feel like it's a form of protection. Um, I feel like it's not a setback. I feel like I'm being protected to really work on what I need to work on to get prepared for when I am back out in the world. And I say that because I am pretty much in the house a lot. But there will be a day, it's going to be inevitable. I have kids, who I want them to be in sports and involved and have friends and things that I really need to be on top of my game, and make sure even just dealing with things like school, you have to be assertive when you're talking to the teacher, when you're involved in your kids' academics. You got to be proactive and assertive. You just can't sit back. And so that's what I'm learning now. I'm kind of, I might be late in life learning all this, but once again, this is my journey. So this is where I am post-op. Okay. Um, it's crazy that the surgery led to all this transformation. Because before the surgery, I was pretty much in my reality. I was checked out. I was reading spiritual books here and there, learning about angels, learning about deities. But I was checked out because I had this feeling like I was too worried about what other people thought about me. um, 111. Okay, I was so worried about what people thought about me pre-op, before my surgery, before my weight loss. Because what had happened is before I met my husband, before I got married and had kids, I was at a normal weight. I was working at a fitness facility as a general manager there, and my weight was okay. But then all of a sudden, I just gained all this weight, and people were looking at me like, I could feel the energy, I could feel the vibes. People view you when you gain, even the doctors, because I was starting to have a lot of health issues. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and, my anxiety, and I was having a bunch of back issues and joint issues and just chronic pain and fatigue. And the doctors would always say, well, you need to lose weight. And, I would tell them I'm depressed. I can't get, I just can't get myself to the gym because I'd rather do is stay in bed, because now I'm embarrassed. I don't even want the world to see me, because, like I said, people were looking at me like, what happened to her? She really let herself go. In my head, I'm thinking these people are looking at me like I'm disgusting, I'm a slob. And these are people that were, I was close to, that, and my husband's family. And, because you always know when people are thinking that about you, because they're like, oh, I'll go to the gym with you. Like, that was people's favorite line. Just call me up, or you can come work out at my house. I have an elliptical. Or did you try to eat this and eat healthy and switch up your, when people are like judging you because they say things like that, but nobody ever comes to you and say, what's going on mentally, emotionally? What are you dealing with? People always jump to, oh, well, call me if you want to work out. I don't, first of all, I don't like working out with people, okay? Let's just say that. I like being in my zone. Okay, if I'm going to the gym, I don't need a companion. I don't need somebody to be sitting by my side, laughing and smiling, talking. I want to get in the gym and get my work done. Okay, I want to lift some weights, get on the Stairmaster. I want the energy burn. I want to feel the burn. I don't have time to talk, okay? So let's start there. I don't need you to go to the gym with me, okay? Sorry, I'm a little bit passionate about that. I don't, and I feel like, what makes me upset is because those people that say that, they have no intentions going to the gym with you. It's just like their passive aggressive way of saying, yeah, you need to lose some pounds and you need to get some weight off. If people really cared, they would get to the root of the problem of why in a year did I go from 160 pounds up to almost 300 pounds. There's obviously something psychologically, mentally, emotionally wrong with somebody when that happens. So coming to and saying to someone, oh, did you try to eat some vegetables and do you want me to go to the gym with you? That is probably one of the most insensitive things that I had encountered during my weight gain, and it was just so dismissive and insensitive of people, and then to look at you like you're a disgusting blob that is not a normal human being anymore because you put on some weight. And all they can say to you is, oh, have you tried to work out? And not what is going on with you emotionally, you know, because that drove me to being what I encountered and the way people treated me when I was 300 pounds or almost 300 pounds. I felt like the most disgusting filth of the earth. I felt worthless. And and that's like a shame on me, right? That's shame on me. Why would I? I am beautiful, powerful, spiritual being. It doesn't matter if you gain weight or not, or how much you weigh. You are still worthy. You know, I had to teach myself that. And anyone watching this that feels less than, don't fall into that. Um, don't fall into that. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You just have some problems that you need to get through and to tackle, and some self-love and some healing. And you'll get there. You'll get there. So, I wanted to discuss that because I know a lot of people probably that's the reaction because people don't want to be like, they don't want to come out and say, "Oh, what happened to you?" Like they don't want to be like this, so they'll say something, but they don't really. I mean, they don't know how damaging that is because they're not going through it. They're not going through it. So I had gotten to a place where I was like, I just, I was working. I was, like I said, I was in pain all the time. And I don't want to cry again, or try to hold back my tears again. But I'm thinking back during that phase of my life, all I can see, because I'm a visual thinker, and what I can see is myself being in darkness, a dark cloud over me. And I was suicidal. Not to say that I was going to do suicidal thoughts, okay? And thoughts of, I think I'd just be better off gone. And even I didn't have my second daughter. Like when I'm talking about this in this part of my life, I didn't have my second daughter yet, but my oldest daughter I had, and I would think like, I don't want to embarrass her, and I'm like, what I was going through, I almost was like, I don't know if it's called dissociative, like when you're not attached to yourself anymore, detached. I felt like I was here, but I had no soul, or I wasn't, not like I had no, well, yeah, kind of like I had no soul, I wasn't a human being, I wasn't worthy of being loved, or I felt like a robot. I would just go to work and, like I said, go to sleep. I wasn't happy. And so I wanted to check out, and I thought that would be better for my daughter, for me not to be here, because I didn't want to see her seeing me so depressed and thinking it was her, because it had nothing to do with her. She's the light. Both of my children are the light. Like my oldest daughter, I call my heartbeat, and my second daughter, I call my oxygen, because when I was bringing them into this world, I almost died. Second one was like a ice cold blue ICU type of situation. First one I had really bad preeclampsia. Blood pressure was through the roof, but to the point where I could have stroked out. And I said, no, 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 no. I am staying for my daughter. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to make it through this delivery, because they had to do an emergency C-section. And I kept feeling myself like, yeah, they give you a lot of drugs and stuff, but I was feeling myself like trying to leave. And it was at one point where I thought I was on a spaceship and everything. I said, she needs me. And my second delivery, now I'm even a heavier weight. And I had bronchitis, and I had all these health issues going on. They had postponed my C-section because this time it was planned. I was so sick and I couldn't breathe and I was wheezing, so they had postponed it. But then they had put me on like all these steroids and antibiotics. So by the time the day came for me to get my C-section, I think I was still just so messed up. And, both times I was like so excited, like, when, I was just excited to meet them finally. And this time, I think I got a little too excited because I remember them pulling her out, and I remember seeing her face, and I saw this dimple on the side of her cheek, and I'm looking at her face, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks just like her sister, like she's like a little miniature version of her sister, but with a dimple. And I'm like staring and staring at her, and all of a sudden, I must have just zoned out. I mean, passed out. Well, no, I remember seeing her, and then I remember looking over. She was like in a little bed, and I'm like staring at her, like, wow, oh my gosh. But my body was like shutting down at the same time. And the next thing I remember, is waking up to a bunch of doctors around me panicking. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And I look over, and there's this long tube, like it seemed like stretched from me all the way to across the room, this long line. They were about to put a PICC line. Well, they did put they put a PICC line in me. And then they were about to intubate me. I think that's the word. And as they were opening up the package to put the tube down my throat, I woke up. And because I know my spirit was like, no, you're not going nowhere. You just had this beautiful baby. Wake up. Yeah. And so, anyway, those are my like near-death experiences. But anyway, the fight has always been in me. And when I was having those thoughts of suicide and not being here, I thought about my daughter, and I had to push all the negative and selfish thoughts aside and really try to find some logic and just really say, Crystal, what, because that's my name. My name's Crystal. I have a talk with myself and say, what are you doing? Come on. Your daughter needs you here. That's a bunch of BS. You're not going anywhere. So what I did, say, okay, well, I need to be proactive about this. I can't, because also with me being here and just being so depressed is not helping her either. I think back to that, and I feel bad about that because I wasn't present emotionally. I did things and for and all of that, but emotionally, once again, if you're not happy and joyful, of course we can have our ups and downs and different emotions. We're human beings. Like don't ignore those, but when it comes to on a regular basis, on a constant basis, your kids are seeing all that. And I don't I don't want to put that energy on them. So what do you do with that? What do? You reach out for help if it's uncontrollable. Okay. You do something about it, you be proactive about it. Um you don't sit there and wallow in it. And so, you know, as many people, those same people that said, "Oh, I'll go to the gym with you," when I told them I wanted to go ahead and get bariatric surgery. "Oh my gosh, you should just go to the gym. You could die, blah blah blah." And they because they never asked how I was feeling, not knowing that I already felt dead, you know. As I was thinking, you know, cuz you have to block people out sometimes. You really do. Like, you have to block people out. Because I'm sitting here thinking, I have all these medical conditions. I'm on a new medication every week. I'm probably like almost to getting high blood pressure. Well, I was having high blood pressure. Um, a bunch of medical issues. Having suicidal thoughts. Not living life. Not being emotionally present for my daughter. How much closer to death can you be than that? So, you know, you're telling me not to get surgery when, like I said, I already feel dead anyway. So, do you think I'm going to take your advice and not get the surgery when I could do something that could potentially change my life? You know, I let the doctors decide, you know, and so I researched. I made sure I went to a good doctor. There was one place I was going to go, and I got a gut feeling like, don't go there. And I did my research, and I found some bad stuff on that surgeon. And so I went to a different surgeon. That's the surgeon that I met at the facility that I had my surgery at. Was like, when he walked in the room, I felt like an angelic presence and a calmness and relief. And I said, this is the right thing. You know, because I was going to try to go back and do things without the surgery. But it was like I was so far gone emotionally and mentally. I prayed and I said, is this the right thing to do? Is this what I need in my life? I asked God for a divine intervention and a miracle. And that was it. Okay. And I know that in my last video I said, you know, the way my life is what I had not envisioned. I thought I would be out in the world and going places and just fun, happy. But at the same time, I also said there's things that need to be developed. And so here I am. And in the transformation phase, parts of me being developed, where I need to develop at. And, you know, I'm trying not to learn. You know, my older brother always asked me, Crystal, I think you think too idealistically. That's the word. Like I have all of these ideal thoughts, and when things don't work out the way I think they should, I either give up or I just get so disappointed where it like kills me, you know. And so that's one of my things too. I'm trying to learn, like, don't be so idealistic, and to work with what you have, and you know, track yourself instead of falling backwards. Always, you know, no matter how little the steps may be, like, at least you're going forward, you know. So I definitely feel like I've gone forward, and it's just a lot to work through sometimes. You know, when you're like cleaning your house or a closet, like you have this closet full of mess, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna go clean. And you look around, like, you're 30 minutes in, you're like, this is more of a mess than it was. I should have just left this stuff in here. This is more of a mess than what it was before. Oh my gosh. Well, that's how it is sometimes. That's how healing is. Like, it gets worse before it gets better, but it will get better. Just keep focused, keep moving forward. You'll get there, and hopefully I'm here for some assistance But anyway, that was my story, and I guess maybe more of like an introduction to me and where I am right now. Introduction, an update, whatever you want to call it. And I will have plenty more videos. I'm still trying to figure out if I want this to be part of my spiritual journey stuff or just weight loss, but I'll get to that. I am gonna keep posting though. I'm not gonna let a bunch of thoughts come in. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? And then I just don't do anything. No, I'm gonna be posting, and I'll figure it out as I go along. I was thinking about changing my name though, and that's why I hadn't posted on here, because words hold energy, and beautiful warrior to me has the energy of just like fighting, and I'm like, I'm down with that. I'm sick of fighting. Like I want the victory. Like I'm done fighting. I want to chill now. Like, so I was thinking, should I change my name, because my other channel is Beautiful Soul Goddess, and I kind of feel like that's where I am. Like I want to be in chill mode, like harmony. I'm sick of fighting and battling and struggling. Like I said, words have energy, so I don't know. I may change the warrior, but just part of who I am. I do feel like I'm a natural fighter regardless. It's inevitable, it seems like, but we'll see. We'll get to there. Hopefully this video helps someone today. That's my goal. But I also, for those that you have watched this all, or even some of it, I want to thank you for your time, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls. Keep your head up. Things will get better. Don't give up. Keep going. All right. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.